Okay, so today we're diving deep into something that might seem a little bit counterintuitive, maybe even a little controversial.
Yeah, I say so.
Strategic quitting.
Right.
And we're taking a look at, let's see, some excerpts you sent over from a book called The Wisdom of Quitting,
Mm-hmm.
which, by the way, already the title alone is kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Quitting can be
it
wise.
can be, yeah.
So we're going to figure that out today.
Exactly.
The mission, if you will,
Absolutely.
is to really understand how to recognize when quitting might actually be the smartest move we can make.
Yep.
Now, right off the bat, this book kind of throws us a curveball.
It does.
It says quitting doesn't always equal failure. It can actually be, get this, a path to success.
Right. Isn't that interesting?
It-
And it really challenges our assumptions.
It totally does. I think we all have that experience where we just keep pushing at something, even when it's clearly not working.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, we've all been there. We've all been there. But I think what really gets stuck, at least for me, is this thing called the sunk cost fallacy.
Yes, the sunk cost fallacy.
And that's basically like that feeling where you have to see something through just because you've already invested so much
Right.
time, energy,
Sometimes.
even money, yeah, into it, even if it's making us, miserable.
Totally. And, a lot of times it comes from this idea that, well, I've already put in so much, I can't quit now.
Yeah, like I've come this far.
Right. I have to see it through to the end.
Exactly.
Even if the end isn't even worth it anymore.
Right.
And that's, one of the big things that this book, The Wisdom of Quitting, really highlights.
It's like, okay, recognize when to cut your losses and move on.
Yeah, and it gives some really good examples of that, too.
Oh, I bet.
Like, for instance, have you ever started watching a movie and realized halfway through that it's just awful?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
But you keep watching anyway because you've already invested an hour of your time.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Like, I'm already here.
Exactly.
Might would finish it.
Right. But then you end up wasting even more time on something you don't even enjoy.
Exactly.
And that's the sunk cost fallacy in action.
It's so true.
And it applies to so many things in life, not just movies.
Right.
It could be a job that's just draining you.
You're just, every day you wake up,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't want to go.
Exactly. Or a project that's just gone completely off the rails.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Or even a relationship that's just not serving you anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this is making me think of all sorts of things.
Right.
And it's making me wonder, okay, so how do we actually, do this strategic quitting thing?
Right.
Like, how do we know when it's really time to strategically quit versus, just giving up?
That's a great question. And, there's definitely a difference between the two. Giving up is often impulsive.
Yeah, like you
just throw your hands up, say I'm done.
done.
Strategic quitting is more of a deliberate decision.
Right.
It's something you think through carefully.
You weigh the pros and cons.
Exactly. You consider the potential consequences.
You're making a choice.
Yes, it's a choice.
Okay, so then the book, The Wisdom of Quitting, I'm curious what it says about, like, what are the signs that it's time to strategically quit?
Well, one of the key points it makes is the importance of freeing up your time and energy for better opportunities.
Okay, yeah, so it's not just about getting out of something bad.
Right. It's about making space for something good.
It's like, what could I be doing if I wasn't doing this?
Exactly. Think about it. If you're constantly pouring all your energy into something that's just not working.
Yeah, like you're just spinning your wheels.
You're missing out on chances to pursue things that could bring you much more fulfillment.
So true. So true.
And, sometimes you really do win by quitting.
It's like that saying, sometimes you win by quitting.
Exactly. And it's not just a saying. It's actually true.
Right. But how do we make sure that we're not just using that as an excuse to bail on something challenging?
That's a really good point. It's all about finding that balance.
Yeah.
You don't want to quit just because something's hard.
Right.
But you also don't want to stay stuck in something that's not serving you.
Just because you're afraid to quit.
Exactly. So one question you can ask yourself is, what opportunities am I missing out on by staying committed to this?
That's a good question.
Yeah, maybe you have a dream project you've been putting off.
Oh, I have so many of those.
Right, or a skill you want to learn, but you just don't have the time or the energy because you're so stuck in this cycle of sunk costs.
Right. It's almost like we underestimate how draining those things can be, even if they don't seem that bad on the surface.
Exactly, and it's not always about being actively unhappy. Sometimes it's about recognizing that you're just not thriving.
Right, like if you're spending years in a job that doesn't use your strengths.
Right, you're not necessarily miserable,
Yeah.
but you're also not fulfilled.
You're not reaching your full potential.
Exactly, and all that energy that you could be putting towards something you're passionate about,
It's just going nowhere.
it's just going nowhere.
Yeah, it's kind of sad when you think about it.
It is.
And this is actually reminding me of something else the book talks about, right?
Yeah.
It talks about how quitting can actually be a form of self-care,
Absolutely.
which at first I was like, wait, what?
I know, it sounds counterintuitive.
But when you really think about it,
It makes sense.
it actually makes a lot of sense.
Because by stepping away from things that are draining you,
Yeah,
you're creating space for things that energize you, that fulfill you.
that bring you joy.
Exactly.
And isn't that what self-care is all about?
It is. It's about taking care of your well-being,
Mhm.
and sometimes that means letting go of things that are no longer serving you.
So this is all very theoretical, I guess.
Right.
What would you say to our listeners who are, maybe listening to this and thinking, okay, this is all well and good,
Yeah.
but how do I actually apply this to my own life?
I would say start by taking a look at the things in your life that you're holding on to.
Okay, yeah,
Maybe out of obligation, maybe out of fear of failure.
those are big ones, right?
Yeah, and ask yourself, what could you achieve if you had the courage to strategically let go of some of those things?
What could you achieve? That's a really good question.
Yeah, it's a powerful question.
I think it's something we all need to ask ourselves from time to time,
I agree.
because you never know what amazing things might be waiting for you on the other side.
Exactly. The power of strategic quitting is that it opens up possibilities you might not even be able to see right now.
And that's the real takeaway here, right?
It is.
It's not just about quitting for the sake of quitting.
Right.
It's about making conscious, deliberate choices
Mm-hmm.
about what we allow to take up space in our lives.
And in our minds.
So that we can create space for the things that truly matter.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
I think we all need to go do some soul searching now
I think so too.
and figure out what we need to strategically quit.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining us. And until next time,
See you then.
keep on quitting wisely.
Bye.